Alright, so I might bit off more than I could chew with this bike. Let me tell you about it. So this is a Yamaha MT-125. It is a 2016 model, and it isn't too bad. The main issue with it is the fact the engine is blown up. I'm not really sure exactly what happened. All I know is you turn it over, it rattles around, it's got no compression. So that's the little project. It's been sitting for about 3 years since the guy blew it up, and we're going to try and do an engine rebuild, try and get the bugger running. So that'll be quite interesting. Let's get on with it. So without further ado, let's get this engine out. A little something I like to do to keep on track of all the bolts, where they go, what they're for. As I'm doing these sort of builds, I like to just label up a little tub, chuck all the bolts in there. Wow, that took longer than it should have, but we finally got the fuel tank off, so we're just going to drain all the old fuel out, and then we're going to get back on to pulling it apart, get that engine out. Look at the colour of that fuel. That's not very good. Right, let's get rid of this bash plate so we've got better access to the engine. So as we can see, if I put the light behind, we have got coolant. However, it is quite low. It is, well, I say low, it's on the low line, so it's not actually too bad, which is good, but at the same time bad, which means this engine probably didn't fail due to a heat seize. It probably just didn't have enough oil in the top end, was wearing away, and eventually, I'm hoping, just lost compression from the barrel, which should mean that we can put a new barrel, new piston, might be able to get it working. Right, enough waffling, let's get that engine out. So now we just need to get the cooling system out and drained, then the exhaust pipe, and then the engine. God, look how bent that thing is. Hopefully we can straighten that out a bit later. So all we're trying to do at the moment is get as much of the coolant out of the system as possible, and then we can go ahead, get the exhaust off, get a couple of electrics unplugged, get the engine out. Let's do it. Right, so now we've got the radiator out of the way, we need to get this exhaust system off so we can get this engine pulled. Oh no. Well, that's not good. Let's see if we get any better luck with the second one. Oh no. Well, that's not good. Both of them snapped off. Bugger. Well, I suppose that is one way to get the exhaust off. Oh well, we're not going to let it slow us down. Let's get this engine out. So we just get the last engine bolts out that hold the engine in place, and now we can go ahead and finally get that engine removed and start rebuilding it. So now we are just going ahead and pulling this rocker cover off the engine, so we can just basically start ripping it apart. It actually doesn't look too bad. Alright, so now we've given the engine a quick dust off, we just need to get the cam sprocket out and then also the timing chain tensioner removed, and we can finally see what the damage is. Now to remove the head bolts, these effectively pinch the cylinder head and the barrel to the actual engine block. Then once you've got all the bolts out of the way, we're just going to grab a rubber mallet, tap the side of the engine, it kind of breaks all the gaskets loose. Don't worry about the damaging gaskets, we're replacing them, and then we can get the head off. Right, that's our problem. Piston is gone bye-bye. Oh god, oh god. You shouldn't be able to do that with a piston. Oh dear. So now we know what the main damage is, we've just got to hope we don't discover anything more whilst we're pulling apart this engine. Let's get it in bits. Oh, that's not good. Little metal flake, nice little chip. Yummy. So it's pretty obvious this thing, it needs a full engine rebuild, so in no particular order, let's start pulling it apart. So I seem to have lost a bit of video. I was recording splitting the casings in half, but as you can see, this is where we're up to at the moment. There's a lot of metal flaking everywhere. That's what we've pulled out the engine so far, and if you haven't noticed as well, the new workshop. So we can get a lot more projects going on, but basically I think why this has failed, most of the bearings are all good, as you can see. That one's fine. This one here, however, that is absolutely jammed solid. I've packed it with lithium grease, which is supposedly meant to lubricate bearings. That's not doing anything, so that I think is probably our culprit as to why it's stopped working. So we need to get a bearing put on there, pull that out, get a new one replaced. So let's get on with that. So having looked into it, I've discovered two bearings which are feeling a little bit suspect. So this one is completely seized up. I did put a bit of grease on it just to try and free it up. Did not work. And this one also feels quite rough. So we're going to replace both of these. Fortunately, I bought a whole bearing, complete bearing kit. Price up here, how much that costed. So we're just going to go ahead and fit the bearings needed into the engine on the floor. Lovely. So I've gone ahead and blasted absolutely everything with degreaser, cleaned everything the best I can to get all the little metal flakes out from everywhere. This bearing goes into there. and then this one here, which has got no back seal on it, is going into that one there. We'll just go ahead, spin that round. Oh, well, that works too, I guess. There we go. All nice and oily. They're ready to go in. There we go. So we've got the new bearings fitted, all lovely and smooth, both of those two. So that is really good. And I've found out actually that the slide hammer is the exact same size as the outer race of the bearing. So you can just put that over the top and give it a few taps with the hammer. That sets the bearings in absolutely brilliantly. So yeah, that's pretty good. Right, so now we're just going ahead and making sure everything is lubed up nicely with a bit of engine oil. Just put it all over the gears, all over the bearings. And having looked over everything, it looks like the only damage is the piston. Common rod's good, crankshaft's good, no play on anything, bearings all good, so we can get away with a new top end kit. That is about 50 quid, and then let's get it together, because it'll be good as new. Lovely. So to remove the piston, there is a little ring clip which is on the inside of there, and we just need to get that out. And that's one of them, just like that, as you can see. And there's one on the other side, but we don't need to take that out because we can push the little pin all the way through. Someone's been a pain to come out, but it's nothing the hammer can't fix. Right, there we go. Right, we've got the com rod out. Here we go, so we've got our 4 piston rings right there. Now for the piston rings, we just need to put the oil ring in the bottom one with the 2 little shims either side of it, and then the other 2 go in the other 2 grooves. They only go in one of them because they're different thicknesses, so it's kind of a process of elimination. Then for assembling the piston, we just got to slide the pin halfway through it, push it through the piston and the con rod, and then just get the little retainer clips in. Then I like to put a bit of tape around the rings just to stop them falling out, stop them getting damaged, all that sort of thing. Right, so we've got the engine cases slotted back together, all the gearbox, everything is rebuilt on the inside, so that is all good. Everything moves nice and freely, all the gearbox works absolutely flawlessly. So now it is just a case of going ahead and getting all the bits on this side put back on, all the bits on this side put back on, get the engine together, get the timing set, hopefully it will work. Let's do it. Right, so we're going to call it a day on this engine for now. We've literally, it's not going to be too big of a job now, we've just got to get the rest of the engine assembled, get it back together, get it in the bike. However, for now, we're going to call it a day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that subscribe button, smash the like button. Let me know what you think. Let's get on with this video now.